Zoom. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to talk about everything that's happening in 2021 as far as advertising is concerned, and how can you as small to medium-sized businesses can take full advantage of them and use it to grow and increase your online traffic. So my name is Maryam Golabgir, and I'm a digital marketer, a programmer, and I like to call myself a website guru, which it's a self-given title, and I don't mind giving myself titles for no reason. I've been a speaker for Grind Up, Aurora Newmarket Chambers of Commerce, and the Women's Summit, and and CEO, and I've spoken on many topics, including search engine optimization. We've been nominated for 2 years, this is going to be our third year in a row as top advertising agency in New York region for last year, the year before, and this year. My contact information is here. Feel free to contact me anytime if you have any questions. And let's just dive into it. We're going to talk about digital strategies and what they are and how we're going to use them for our benefit. So a long time ago, topics like artificial intelligence, data-driven marketing, voice search engine optimization, which is also known as VSEO, were kind of like concept and kind of borderline ridiculous when you thought about it. You know, who knew that one day we're going to be screaming Alexa and Google and things magically appear into our shopping carts or end up at our door. So it was kind of a lot far-fetched. But these days, these marketing strategies and trends are a must-have and have become a priority for your business and business owners in 2021, and continues to grow as we go along. So so here's the thing. If you are having a hard time understanding what some of these topics are, just stop me and ask me a question, and I'd be more than glad to answer your question and kind of walk you through what it is that we're talking about. So the first one that's really big is programmatic advertising. Programmatic advertising uses AI to automate ad buying experience, and it kind of allows you to target a little bit more specific for who you're talking to and who you want to capture their attention when you're trying to sell your products. It's real-time bidding, which means it bids on whatever that cost of the keyword or that particular placement is. And it allows you to buy that ad at that exact moment based on what that exact keyword searches. Most search-driven manual advertising campaigns, they take into account 3 or 4 target pieces, which are the keywords, the time of day, and location. Whereas with programmatic advertising, it kind of follows a pattern. So step 1 is someone has clicked on your website, and then the publisher of that website puts up, ads that are impression for auction. And then the advertiser is willing to bid the most for that impression to win that placement, that display for your ad. And the marketplace ad holds an auction and says, here are the placements that are available. Which one do you want to advertise on? And then the advertiser, which is you, bids on the number of impressions that you want or the number of clicks that you want based on that placement. And then the ad is delivered to that prospective client of yours. And the customer then comes to your website and finalizes the transaction or converts from being a regular user to your online user. But when they do, so with the programmatic advertising, they use AI, and it's so much more targeted, and it kind of follows people based on their interests in addition to their online trends and what they've been doing so far. Chatbots are huge. They power 85% of customers surveyed by 2020. Top benefit of chatbots is that it's service 24 hours available, and it provides instant response, and it simply answers simple questions. And it's a really good tool to have. Facebook allows you to use third-party automation to kind of set up your own Facebook Messenger with the chatbots, where if someone goes onto your website, it goes onto your Facebook page, or if you have embedded the Facebook Messenger into your website, you'll be able to communicate with these individuals based on trigger words. So if I say hello, the chatbot knows how to respond to that hello, and we can give it triggers and we can give it options. So if we could say hello, hi, how are you? And then if the person, depending on what the person has answered, we can program what next response that chatbot will have for that particular client. Lyft is using it. I've seen it on multiple big corporation sites, but Lyft uses it very well because they have thought of all sorts of triggers and what makes sense for the client and what the client's going to ask, and whether they need to embed any map into it, if they need to embed a booking system into it, if they need to embed a payment system into the messaging. Everything is all included. So a lot of the chatbots for small businesses and medium-sized businesses, there's tons of chatbots out there that will provide you with all of those informations and features that you can use and customize for your website. We work with one company out in Ottawa, and he's fantastic. He is able to customize the chatbot based on almost everything that you might need. So even if you want them to have the chatbot pop up when they're in the middle of the transaction and you want them to finalize the process, the chatbot knows when to pop up and how long to stay up while the person is going through the process. So it's a really cool tool. You have the opportunity to incorporate it into your website. Do it. If you have the opportunity to incorporate it to your Facebook page or any other social media pages that you want to include it into, you can. You can also include, you can use the chatbots that's available through LinkedIn as well. Conversation marketing is huge. It's all about the experience that the end user or the customer has. 2019, 2020, 2021, it was always about, it has been about the customer experience. And as part of that customer experience, conversational marketing is a big one. And that's why chatbots are big, because customers want to be told, I want to be able to ask someone a question and to get an immediate response back. That's why it's important to have, we use chatbots on our website that is linked to 5 of our phones, also our desktop. So if someone's on our website and asks us a question, my phone will start pinging, my desktop will pop up with the message so I can answer the client right away. And you want to do that because this person is in between making a decision as to whether they want to work with you or not. So it kind of makes sense for you to, on a real time, respond to this client and kind of capture their attention and make them into a client of yours. Now, there's tons of tools available that you can use. There's tons of chat features that allows you to have the automated feature put in there. So it's a chat bot. And you can also set it up where as soon as someone's on the page, within the first 2 to 3 to 5 seconds, you get a message on your phone or your desktop where you can respond to them right away. And when I send out this presentation, I'll send you a list of all the tools that we think are great, and you guys can use it, or you can Google it and find any additional ones that make sense to you. Video marketing has been great and it's been important, and it's been imperative to have since, I want to say, 2015. Probably even before that. We tend to watch a video before we read instructions. In the past, we used to go to the library, grab a book, read how to, put together a table. Because of how fast it is to watch a video and learn it right away, and how easy it is to access hundreds of millions of videos on everything, video marketing works, and it works perfectly. And it's a lot more affordable than TV advertising. It's a lot more affordable than going to ethnic television advertising route as well. So using videos makes sense. So here's some stats for you. I got them from Nielsen. 70% of consumers say that they have shared a brand video. 72% of businesses say that video have improved their conversion rate. And I actually have clients that will provide a testimonial to that statement, because we have clients that have put out a do-it-yourself video to kind of showcase how to use a product that they have. And they had more people buying that product. Or we have clients who wanted to convey a message and needed, and it had set up a call to action where someone had to fill up a form, and someone did fill up a form because they watched that video. Now, it all depends on how that video is presented and how that video portrays itself and your brand and your product. And that's why you have to work with someone who is a professional videographer and they know what they're doing. When you do that, it's easy to set up. Sorry, I just want someone else was trying to come in. It is easy to set up a video that they know what they're doing. They know how to put it together, and it's easy for them to set it up where other people can understand your message much clearer. 52% of consumers say that watching a video, a product video, makes them more confident in their online decision making. Testament to that, we are bored. A bunch of my girlfriends are bored, and we decided to do an online class on how to make chocolate. There's a company out in Hamilton. They have tons of amazing classes on how to make French macaroons and truffles. And I looked at their video, and they did a video of another group of women making the macaroons, and they were having a good time, and they were talking about how easy it is to make it. And they went through a couple of the steps, and that's why we ended up buying the kits, because we knew that for a bunch of incompetent people that didn't know how to bake, if our lives depended on it, this would work for us because it's easy to do. 65% of executives visit to a marketer's website, and 39% calls a vendor after viewing a video. And that's actually true, because we just talked to a telecommunication company that just got a massive deal from a vendor that they wanted to work with. And it's because the executive watched a video, told the assistant to call them up because they had a video on automated, my apologies, online dialers that people can use from home. And it's as if they're in the office and nothing has changed. And because of that, the executive tend to tell the administrative assistant to go ahead and book the client. And our client ended up getting this massive deal, which is what everybody wants. So put a bit of an emphasis on your video marketing. Make sure that you get a professional to do the video for you. There are tons of videographers. Yes, we're going through a lockdown, but there's a lot of them that they can help you, and they have good solutions as to when and how they can, create a proper video for your products or services. Social messaging apps are very popular these days. WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, WeChat are the top three, and then we have QQ Mobile, Snapchat, and Telegram. There's a huge surge of people coming on Telegram. Telegram is huge amongst various ethnic communities. So if you are targeting a particular group of ethnic communities, it would work. Same with WeChat. WeChat is so popular that it has payment methods built into it. They have their own advertising platform. You can use it to advertise anywhere that you want. WhatsApp is also popular. They're doing, so if you have Facebook ads or Instagram ads, you can set up WhatsApp chats around your ads so the client can chat with you directly. Facebook Messenger, we all know that they're popular. There's tons of times that we build ads for a client, and we make sure we actually build ads for their Facebook Messenger as well. So if someone's on their Facebook Messenger, they're on Facebook Messenger with somebody else, they can see their ads. So why social messaging apps? Well, every single one of these have a web app, which means that it's the tool that I can actually use on the web. And during the day, I'm not only working, I'm communicating with friends and family and potential clients using WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and WeChat. So it is working because every single one of us are using it. You may check your phone, 5 times or 20 times a day 20 times a day. Out of the 20 times, about 5 of it most likely will be to check your Facebook Messenger or your WhatsApp, or if you have Snapchat or Telegram, to see who's messaging you, or if there's anything that needs to be answered. And they cultivate contacts, they deliver information, they will help boost sales. We know that for a fact with Facebook Messenger and WeChat. We work with an online education platform, and parents get to sign up their kids for a variety of STEM programs. And many times we've seen people messaging them through Facebook Messenger asking about a particular time frame that they can sign up their clients, and instantly the client gets to sign up this customer because they're on their Facebook Messenger and they're constantly communicating with their potential clients. You can involve people in events. I've done that many times. I have had events when we were allowed to have events before COVID, and I have reached out to people on Facebook Messenger and invited them to come to our events, and every time it has worked. You can regain potential customers, and you can provide support and assistance. And it happens all the time with Facebook Messenger. I've actually witnessed it personally, where my clients provide ongoing support and assistance to their clients through Facebook Messenger. So if you're not on it, get on it. Visual searches are massive this year. They've been growing steadily, but towards the end of last year and this year, they're just boomed. Pinterest Lens, Google Lens, CamFind, and Bing visual search a little, but the top two is Pinterest Lens and Google Lens. We had the pleasure of working with this young lady who had an online clothing store, an extremely successful online clothing store. And what made her absolutely successful was the fact that any awesome tool that came into the market, she would try it to see how it is. And she would actually, using the Pinterest Lens, to showcase how the outfit looks on the client, and it would do the zoom from the bottom to the top and then the twirl. Same with Google Lens. Google Lens is very popular. You can utilize it. You can utilize it for your products and services. And you have to make sure that if you are part of the fashion, home decor, art, food, products, any sort of products, animals, outfits, beauty, vehicle, or travel, take advantage of these lenses, mainly because you're going to be on Pinterest, you're going to be on Google, and you can use all of them. Now, some of these categories are only available in US and not in Canada. So depending on how your store and your business is set up, you have to look into that as well. But if I were you, I would go into Google, pull up all the products that they have, including the lens, and see how you can include yourself. If you fall into any of these categories, how you're going to be able to set yourself up for the Google Lens or the Pinterest Lens. Voice search. How many times we have all screamed Alexa or Google? I do that probably, 70 times a day, asking Google multiple questions, or asking Google to shut things down, or shut the stove, or shut the light, or see who's outside. Or I feel like I'm at a point in my life that if Google takes away the voice search, I will be crippled. And I'm not the only one. I've spoken to many individuals that have stated the same facts, and they said that their voice-activated speakers are the most important features of their lives, and home smart tools are what they use to live their day-to-day life. Okay, so how are we going to take advantage of this? Well, you can include your business and your products and services into the voice search and the speaker and the smart speakers. Here are some stats for you. 50% of searches will be via voice by 2020. That is true. We do. 45% of all Canadian homes will have a smart speaker by 2022. 72% of people who own voice-activated speakers say that their devices are used as part of their daily routines. Voice shopping is set to jump to $40 billion in 2022 and up to $2 billion today. And the stats for Canada, it's mainly for US and some for Canada. Again, it all depends on what tools you're using. If you have Alexa, and depending on how you set up your Alexa, you can make purchases off of your Alexa as well. Global smart speaker shipments have almost trebled between Q1 2018 and Q2 2019, and growing to 9.36 million units to 26.1 million units. So what do you need to do? Well, you need to find ways to include yourself into the search, just like how these businesses have. So Patron Tequila helps customers access personalized cocktail recipes. Panera Bread allows you to ask Alexa, open Panera Bread, and it tells you what the orders are. This one is in US, but Domino's allows pizza lovers to order from the comfort of their couch without having to pick up the phone or even place an online order. PayPal users can engage Siri to send money to friends and family and businesses. I tried doing this, but I think Siri couldn't understand any of my family members' name. But it's a tool that it is available, and it is available in Canada and US. Nestle creates a skill that provides voice instructions as you cook. They do that in Google, and they do it on Alexa. Campbell has the skills that helps hungry consumers choose and cook recipes. So you have to find a way to get yourself into these programs, and there are tons of tools that are available that would allow you. But one of the things that needs to happen if you want to be on Alexa, you need to have an Amazon account that is set to provide that service to all Amazon clients, and then you can get into the Alexa world. Same with Google. If you have to have a Google account, you need to have Google products that will allow you to optimize your channel and optimize your products or website. Then you'll be able to put yourself into the searches that they have. This is a big one, and a lot of us have seen this. This is when you're on the website and all of a sudden a pop-up comes up that says, do you want to allow notifications? It's a really cool tool, 7% open rate for segmented push messaging compared to 3% open rate for generic and broadcast messaging. 54% of users convert from a segmented push notification compared to the 15% for the broadcast messaging. And a lot of the times I've done this. If I really like the site, I say allow, and then I start getting pop-up on my computer of everything that's new onto their website. If you have an informational website, one of our clients has a mortgage site. She produces newsletters every week and it goes onto her blog. This is the perfect tool for her, because if someone's on her website and they are interested in what she has to say, they can just say allow to notification and it comes up. Here's a tool. It's called Welcome to Push Alert. You can set it up if you have if you're using various platforms to have the website built, whether it's WordPress or Magento and Shopify, they allow you to set up this feature as well. Social commerce and shoppable posts are massive. Our client, Niche Decor, they do this every opportunity they get. So if you go on Niche Decor's website, onto their Instagram page, you'll be able to actually make the purchase that is linked to their Shopify page. It's a really popular tool if you have a Shopify account. What will happen is if you have an Instagram account or a Facebook, you can set it up where if someone is clicking, then there's a button, it's usually a white button on the image, and the person clicks on it, a message will pop up and it says this is the price for that product. And if you click on that link, it will take you to the website where you can make the purchase and finalize your purchase. It's a really cool tool. It maximizes the opportunities for sales. If you have a Shopify site, set it up. It's super easy to set it up. It literally takes 7 clicks to set the whole thing up. If you have a WordPress, you can also do the same thing. You just have to put the right plugin that speaks back to your Instagram account. Same with Magento. Magento needs a little bit of a programming done on the back end, but it's possible to do that. So if you have any sort of an e-commerce website, it will make sense to set this up and kind of expedite the process of the customer looking at the product and then making that decision if whether they want to go onto your website or not, and if they want to make the purchase. You can set this up as an ad as well. So if you have, there's tons of grants going around right now. If you have a grant with Facebook, or if you have a grant with Google, you can't set it up with the Google one. You can't set it up with Facebook. You can set that up where you can use that grant to set up your social commerce onto your Instagram and your Facebook. Interactive content has always been fun and very useful. So they haven't died down. If anything, there's more emphasis on them because they're very optimizable and Google loves them. We built a quiz for one of our clients 5 years ago. This year they came back and they said, let's revamp it because we found out majority of the clients that they were getting were the ones that were going and finalizing the quiz because it was such an interactive, fun quiz, and the client was gaining more customers from it. Calculators are great. Mortgage brokers, debt consolidation companies, most of the finance institutions, they incorporate calculators into their website because it's interactive. It keeps me on the site. If I'm kept on the site for more than a minute, I tend to do more than just play around with the calculator. I tend to read more information. And then if I'm on the site for more than a minute, you'll be able to pop up the chatbot and talk to me and convince me to stay on the site longer. So the whole reason why we have all these interactive content is to keep me on the site for as long as possible, for someone to pop up and talk to me, or for me to make a decision that whether your products and services are exactly what I want for my business. So interactive white papers, embedded calculators, quizzes, polls, augmented reality ads. This is a big one. Nissan just put up augmented reality test drives onto their website. So you can go onto their website and test drive their Nissan cars. And that tends to keep people on the site a lot longer. And because they had that, and because they were talking about the technology that goes into the cars, they were able to capture more audiences and have more people to fill in forms or wanting to buy their products. 360-degree videos are really good as well. They keep you on the site for a long period of time. People tend to play with them. We were in Ireland 5 years ago, and in the process, we ended up going to the Jameson brewery. It was the Jameson. I think it's a brewery, but we went into the Jameson whiskey factory. And while we were there, they had an augmented reality, 360-degree video set up when you walked in, and you can just scroll, and it was just where you're going to go in every direction. And it was interactive. We loved it. And we were on their website and we were looking at it. It was perfect. It had the same tool onto their website as they had it onto the brewery, into the factory when you look at that as well. Here we go. All right, so it's called predictive and augmented analytics. So these are really, analytics in general are great tools. We use analytics. We use analytics to kind of understand more and learn about how people interact with our website. It makes sense for us to use this information to understand and predict how we're going to better our business and better our content as we go along. Predictive analytics is a practice of using the data mining, predictive modeling, and machine learning to identify patterns and attempt to predict the future. Now, you need to understand why we use analytics to begin with. Once you understand that and you do use analytics to better understand your business, it's easier to set this up. It becomes, so what happens is when we understand the predictive and augmented analytics, we be able to track how people interact with our products. There are tons of tools out there. So one of the tools that I have here is called Amazon Assistant. And what this does is it captures my movement as a user throughout this Amazon channel or throughout the Amazon as a whole. And then what it does is when it mines all the data, then it will take that information and push it out to variety of variety of shoppers that want to sell their products on Amazon as well. So then now I know as a seller how the buyer is going to interact with my product. The next one is progressive. By the way, does anybody have any questions?
I'm good for so far. It's really interesting so far, though. I really like it.
Wonderful. Great to hear that. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so let's get going to this one. It's called Progressive Web App. This is a big one. So we work with a marketing and a mobile app development agency from Maryam. And he brought this up to us 8 years ago. And he kept telling us the web apps are the next thing of the future. And we knew they're correct because everything that they've done so far, it's been wonderful. Every product that they've created has been great. And what they were telling us years ago was that web apps are the faster version of mobile apps, and people will more likely be using them if they're at work than they would be using the apps that are on the phone. And web apps have grown, and they've been doing very well in Europe and Asia. They've been around for years. And as you know, whatever happens in Europe and Asia, we're always 5 years behind. So it takes us a lot longer for everything that happens there and they use for their marketing. We're always 5 years behind. It takes us a while to get to that point. So what's a web app? A web app is, let's say you have a WhatsApp application on your phone. A web app is the web.whatsapp.com version of your WhatsApp. And that allows you to be able to use your WhatsApp off of your computer. Because sometimes you don't have your phone with you, or you're in a meeting, you can't just constantly be looking down on your phone and posting. And so it's easier to have it as like a tab on your computer. It loads faster. You can set up push notification on it. You can work offline. You can utilize device hardwares, utilizing any device that you need to get to it. You can use your tablet, you can use your mobile, you can use your desktop. It's a really popular app. It's a very popular way of creating apps because it's a lot cheaper. So if you have one of my clients wants to provide any sort of a tool that's in an app format, it's easier to have them create it as a web app because it will load faster. It will load in any sort of platform, and people are more likely to use that than having to actually download an app into their phone. So if you have an app, or if you had an app idea for your business and you know this is going to be your big break, consider the web apps. They're faster, easier to use, and you'll be able to get a lot more bang for your buck. Even the advertising platforms on your web app, or if you are advertising your website, if you are accepting advertising on your website, if you have a web app, you will tend to make more money off of your website with those ads than you would with your mobile devices. Okay, so we sell Google ads. We tell our clients to come and do Google ads with us. We've been doing Google, Bing, any sort of a social media platform. We sell by ads. We sell ads and we buy ad space for our clients. And Google has come up with tons of smart ad bidding. And here are 3 of them. So there's called targeted cost per action. So the first one is targeted cost per action. What it does is it generates leads and customers and maximizes your cost per acquisition that you set. So cost per acquisition means that I have set up a cost for acquiring you as a customer. I said you're worth $10 to me. So if I get you as a customer, which means you have to do something, I'm paying for your action. You have to write something for me, whether you have to call me or you have to fill up a form. That's an action. You have to do something. And that's the lead that they set up. Now, I want to explain something before I go further. In order for this to work, you need to have an expert AdWords ad account. A lot of the times, Google will allow you to set up Google Ads using your Google My Business. Doing that is fine, but you will not get these features. What will happen is you will get a smart ad where you don't get to control what you post, how you post. Google will pick your bids based on the words that you put in there, the keywords that you put in there, and they will show it to whoever could potentially want to use your services, or potentially want to put that word. So you need to have an expert account. When you have an expert account, then you will be able to set these smart biddings. And if you don't know what you're doing, pick up the phone and call myself, or if I can help you, I'll forward you to one of our many marketing partners that we have, and they'll be able to help you. Okay, so let's get back to this. The first thing that there's the first Google ad smart bidding that they introduced is the targeted cost per action. The second one is called the targeted return on advertising spend. Now, you set your sight on getting the best return on your advertising spend. But this differs depending on the products or the services that you're advertising and the amount of competitors that you have and the amount of money you're spending on your keyword. So if you don't know what you're doing with your return on advertising spend target, it's best to talk to someone who's a specialist in this field. And what that means is that you have a advertising spend. You say, I want to spend $500 in a month. Then Google will say, okay, well, based on this total that you want, historically, you're going to get 5% return on it. So we're going to provide you with 5% return. I don't personally like that, because to me, I think if I can manually pick what I want to set my target at and what I want my target to do, I will get more results from that than letting Google adjust my bid for me. The only one that I like is called maximize conversions. So this one, it kind of racks up your advertising conversion rates, whether you aim to get more email subscribers, downloads, purchases, or calls. So we're doing this for one of our clients right now. Well, we do this for a lot of our clients, but this one particular client, he only wants calls. He doesn't want anything else. His maximizing his conversion is calls. So my job is to get him as many calls as he wants. So he says to me, if someone's calling me for my top 5 keywords, if they stay on the phone for 1 minute or 1 second, that to me is good enough, because I captured their phone number, I captured their information, because we have a call rail set up for them. They'll capture all of that information. So that's good enough for him. So his conversion makes sense. He gets tons of calls. He gets 30, 40, 50 calls per day, and he's happy. But conversions differs for other people. Some people want to maximize their sales on their products, okay? But this will need a secondary piece to be built into it. So that's why you need to talk to someone who understands it and can explain it to you. So what's the secondary piece that needs to be built into it? Well, you need to have a Google merchant account, and so you can maximize your product sales as well. And you cannot set up a merchant account on all products. So there's certain ones that you can set up. Some will not go through. So you need to have someone that can walk you through it. So whoever you're working with, make sure you ask the right questions. I'll have this presentation sent to you, and ask the questions as to what am I going to get and how am I going to get it? And what are you going to do to provide me that information so I can get it? And these are what you want to get. You want to get cost per action, targeted cost per action, which is the leads. And you also want to maximize your conversion. The next one is user-generated content. This is huge. This is why all these influencers have come about. These influencers are people that tend to do a lot on social media and have a big presence on social media, and they have thousands and millions of people following them. And brands like Starbucks or Lenovo or Samsung, they want these influencers because these influencers will reinforce their brand. They will repost information about their brand, and they'll talk about Starbucks. They'll talk about the products at Starbucks, the chestnut praline, Pearland. Oh my God, I can't even say that word. Let's say hot chocolate. They'll talk about it. So this is a hot item. Big brands like Starbucks are now regramming Ashley Huang's post because she probably has 108,000 followers, and they're like, well, great, she's doing very well. We're gonna post it because she's posted a beautiful picture portraying our, emphasizing on our cups and making sure that it looks good. Now, user-generated content is fantastic, but these users that are generating these contents, some of them are astronomically expensive for no reason. And some of them, they tell you that, yes, I'm a brand influencer and I will promote your brand. And then you realize that their brand that your brand will not match what they promote. So before you go into it, make sure you vet your user or your influencer to make sure they will represent your brand accurately, that they don't have fake followers, they have real followers, and to make sure that the content that they're posting actually gets exposure, meaning it gets likes, comments, and reshares, or that it's reshared properly. So before you do that, keep that in mind before you reach out to these influencers. But if you do find someone who matches your brand and they're fantastic for your business, the millennials and Gen Zs, they love influencers. They follow them religiously. They talk about them. They look at what they post, and they use every product that they're being promoted by these users. This is the biggest one, guys. It's called rank zero snippet or position zero. Okay, this is the holy grail of the modern day SEO. This is when you tell Google how to make tea and the instructions on how to do it pops up first. Okay, now this is the only thing people will click on. This has the most amount of clicks. This will have the most amount of exposure. This will be shared with a lot of people, and this will get you the most amount of users. How? Well, you have to optimize your page. You have to optimize based on instruction. You have to be able to add that to voice search engine optimization as well. And you have to make sure that the content that you're providing is to the T and it's perfect. You can see that in the snippet, they have some of the keywords that this particular tag has come up for. So if you have instructions on procedures or do-it-yourself platforms or whatever it is that you have, I would highly recommend to optimize those procedures and instructions so you can have your rank zero position. Okay, and that's about it. Any question, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, any questions? Or was this too much?
I have a question that I'm curious to get your opinion on. So you talked a little bit about it's actually something that I haven't heard of, where you can take a photo of like shoes, for instance, and then people can see, like, it'll find similar products. What about VR? Have you done any research on that? Do you think that's going to be one of the next big things to come up, where you can just put a camera 100%. At your feet? And
so VR has been virtual reality has been one of the top trends of 18, 19, 20, and 21. The reason I didn't include it in here is because you need whatever it is that you're selling, it needs to have a programmer to program the VR that goes with this product. And it becomes extremely expensive for small to medium-sized businesses. So I didn't include it in there. But I have presentations from the past that I've included VR into it. We worked with a company, actually GamePill does a lot of VR up in Newmarket, and he's fantastic at capturing the right audience. But the problem with VR is that you need to have the tools, you need to have the content, and you need to have an audience for that content. And I feel like in Canada, we're not there when it comes to marketing for small businesses. We should be there because it's big everywhere else, but we're just not there. It just doesn't work. Like if you work with Y Space, they have a couple of really awesome VR programmers. Same with Venture Lab. They have a couple of really good, awesome VR programmers. But again, it works in certain industries as well. Like, I mean, with real estate, it works. With travel and vehicles, it works very well. But I mean, like, try to convince a dealer you should put VR into your marketing plan, and they're like, I don't need to, because nobody asks for it. So I mean, like, it's a double-edged sword. It's so important to have it, but then if you don't have the right audience in Canada for it, how is that going to work? I mean, like, you will find a lot of it in companies and industries that would be very open to it, but not a lot of small to medium-sized businesses. And I'm trying to target small to medium-sized businesses to watch these videos so they can take advantage of the tools that we have to offer. And I just don't see it. What about you? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head 110%. That's why I was curious to see what you think, because I think it is just a little beyond reach for a lot of small businesses now. But I'm of the opinion, like, if you ask me what technology is going to reshape the world in the next 10 years, my answer without a doubt is VR. I think it's going to be in every home. And that's why I'm very interested in it from a marketing point of view, because I think once it becomes more mainstream, I just think that's a perfect thing to where you can get ahead on the curve on that one. But to your point with small businesses, it's very hard to implement.
And the thing is, you got to spend minimum of $50,000-$60,000 to have it programmed.
Yeah.
Unless if this small business is going to be making, so there's a company up in Newmarket. I don't know if he's still around. It was called VR Plus. So he had set up virtual realities and few augmented reality booths for kids to learn or play. I don't know if he's still around, but he would be the perfect candidate. He was an engineer from Calgary. He was done with the oil industry. He was down here and he was like totally interested, and he set it up for kids. Mm-hmm. But again, there was not a lot of money in it, because how much can you charge a family, to huge investment from his end and not a lot of return for him. I mean, like, it would make sense. Like, we work with STEM Minds right now, and that's one of the courses that they're teaching children. My son actually took that course, and it's something that they are 100% into it. But again, I mean, it would be great if it was utilized for all sorts of businesses, but we're going to take 5 more years before we get there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Overall, I love the presentation. That was great. I don't want to hijack it though, so I'm not sure if anyone else has any questions.
Anybody else? Linda, Maggie, Steve?
No questions. It was good information. Lots of things I want to go try now.
Amazing. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Email is the best way. I'm going to send you guys my email because you all signed up, and I'll send you the email blast for this presentation so you have it, and reach out to me. I'm always open, and I will call you back if you email me, because I'm old-fashioned. I need to talk to someone. And then I'd be more than glad to just give you any sort of information that you need.
Can I ask a simple question?
Yeah.
I'm not a techie person, so I mean, this was interesting for me to learn some tools. But with somebody in the legal field, is there a particular type of digital marketing approach that you think will be more applicable to them, or just, would you advise being open?
So we work with a lot of the thing with the legal world is that you have to be very careful with what you put out as far as information. So my best bet would be using interactive tools are fantastic for you guys, because your world is so foreign to the rest of us. The legal world is very foreign to the rest of us. So having quizzes and interactive tools that can explain things much easier to me, it's fantastic. Video marketing will be great for you guys because you can explain things in a layman term to someone like me who doesn't understand the legal world as well as I should. And then definitely taking advantage of just the Google tools that are out there right now. You guys can be part of the Google Shop Local. That's a huge one. I think you do, your category does qualify for it. If you have an awesome website and you have, amazing videos on it, market those videos, put them all out there onto Vimeo and YouTube and make sure that you get it out there. Again, I would utilize LinkedIn as well and make sure. So LinkedIn has a lot of awesome tools. They're trying to keep up with all the other platforms. So they have put in their video platform is really good. You can attract a lot of information. You can attract a lot of people by good information that you put out there as well. But as far as the information that I provided today, you cannot use a chatbot. We worked with another lawyer and he tried the chatbot. It was an absolute disaster. It won't work for you because my questions, we can't predict. See, the thing is, we can't predict their questions and provide them information that's not going to get everybody in hot water. So we don't recommend chatbots. We don't recommend, but conversation marketing will work using Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp Messenger will work. But you got to also remember, if someone is messaging you at 2 a.m. asking you a legal question, we got to have a contingency plan for that. How are we going to respond to them? Are they going to be going into a queue that someone's going to get back to them? Who do we want to respond to them? Is this a lawyer and is their time going to be paid for if they're responding to someone at 9 p.m. and how is that going to work out? So there's tons of tools that you can use, but you just need a little bit of planning to make sure that it actually works for you rather than it works against you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, this was a good presentation. Thank you all for attending. This was amazing. I hope we can stay in touch. And if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me. Have yourself a great day. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, hon. Take care.